So we are at our local Sam's Club today. I'm gonna give you some tips on how to save some money buying some steak. So we're gonna look at choice grade versus prime. We're gonna look at some ribeyes. We'll look at some New York strip. And I'll show you what I look for when I buy a steak and how I save a few bucks. Check it out. So we're at our favorite big box store here in, I don't know if I want to say location, but so we're at our favorite big box store here today shopping for some steaks, and wanted to go over a little trick that I use when I'm buying just a couple of steaks that can really help you save actually quite a bit of money. You'll notice that you'll have steaks that are labeled prime beef, and you'll have some that are labeled choice or select. Most grocery stores don't have the select, that's like the lowest grade. You'll find that at some of like your bulk restaurant supply stores, the select grade. Most stores are gonna have choice grade. That's what most beef ends up becoming graded. Some stores are starting to carry prime, but let me show you an example of what the difference is between choice and prime first, and then I'll show you a way you can actually save some money. So we've got 2 packages of New York strip steaks. This is the choice grade, and this is the prime grade. And you can see the only thing that separates them, and this is how when they're grading beef, this is what they look at, is the inner muscular fat. This is the little white specks of fat you can see inside of the beef. You can see how much the prime has compared to how much is in the choice. There's still a decent amount here, but not nearly as much compared to this. You look at the price difference. This is $18 a pound. This is $11 a pound. So with that knowledge, let me show you how you can save a few bucks buying steak. So I've got 2 packages of ribeye now. This is the prime, and this is the choice. Let's look at 2 different versions of the prime. You can see within the prime, this one's got a lot of the intermuscular fat. This one's decent. That one's got quite a bit. This one's got quite a bit less. So if you're gonna spend the extra money and get the prime, make sure you actually pick one out that has what you're paying for, the more intermuscular fat there. Marbling is another word that you'll hear to describe that fat. So now let's look at the choice grade here. Grab 2 different versions of the choice. So these are both graded the same, both choice, USDA choice. That has almost no fat in it compared to that one's got a lot. So back to the prime, again, $19 a pound, $13 a pound. If you compare this steak for $19 a pound to that one for $13 a pound, there's very little difference. So just by selecting a choice grade that actually has the marbling closer to a prime, in this case, you're saving $6 a pound, which for a package of 2 or 3 pounds, that's $12 or $13 that you're saving, and still getting the quality of beef that is pretty dang close to what you'd be paying the extra for. So add-on note at the end. Whenever I'm buying a steak, I always check what's marked down first. Usually this is marked down because it expires in the next day or 2. Like the expiration date on this is tomorrow. But usually if I'm buying a steak, I'm cooking it the same day or the next day. So, and it'll actually hold quite a bit longer than what the expiration date is. That's just the date they have to sell it by. So in this case, this will be a $41 package for these 2 steaks. It's marked down to $31. That's still a lot. It's still $15, $16 per steak. Still more than I typically would like to pay, but it's a good, if you're trying to buy a prime steak, I always check that first because sometimes you can get a good deal. Most of the stores have a section where they've got some that are discounted because they're expiring that day or the next day. So that's another way to save a few bucks. There you have it. Those are the tips for saving a few dollars when buying steak. Hope you enjoyed.